After 14 seasons, the ruler of the Frozen Throne has returned to Fortnite lore. The first 4 pages of issue 4 of the Marvel X Fortnite Zero War comic were released yesterday, giving us a massive cameo of a character we haven't seen in years. Although, before we get into the crazy new lore surrounding the Ice King, let's cover what we know about him so far. In Chapter 1, Season 7, a sheet of frozen ice and snow washed up on the Fortnite Island, bringing with it the frozen palace where the Ice King resided. At the time, we knew very little about him, but we quickly realized that he wasn't just a king. He was the warden to a prison, holding his ancient rival captive in a frozen block of ice. The being only known to us as the prisoner was frozen within the Ice King's dungeon. With an entirely new climate to adjust to, though, the Ice King quickly lost control of the shackles of ice binding the prisoner in place as they began to thaw. In a desperate last-ditch attempt to hold his ancient enemy at bay, the Ice King froze himself in a sphere of ice high above the island, channeling his inner power. Once fully charged, he summoned a massive astral projection of himself, covering the entire island in ice and snow. Unfortunately, though, the island fought back. After only a few weeks, all the snow the Ice King had spread across the map quickly melted, leaving the prisoner with more hope than ever. Summoning all of his fire energy, the prisoner broke free of the Ice King's prison, taking the eggs of his ninja allies along with him. Going to the very northeast corner of the map, the prisoner summoned an entire volcano to help nurture his egg-covered allies, eventually hatching into creatures called hybrids, a combination between lizard warriors and ninjas. With the prisoner's allies now back and fully intact, the Ice King realized he had failed. Fleeing to an unknown location, he disappeared for the next many seasons. In his absence, the prisoner wreaked havoc on the map, not only destroying Retail Row and Tilted Towers, but also letting the true monster loose, by destroying its shackles of ice just like he had unchained himself only a few months prior. Things eventually got so bad, the Imagined Order had to step in, completely upgrading the map into a futuristic setting and presumably taking the prisoner back to his original task of being a prisoner. Now that we understand the Ice King's lore better, we can finally look at why his return in this comic is so important. As Agent Jones and his crew of Marvel Misfits step on the ice moon that we launched the mech from in the Chapter 3 Season 2 live event, they quickly find a massive throne room covered in mounds of snow and ice. Realizing Dr. Doom had used Arctic vibranium to cut through the metal door, the group enters the throne room and are shocked to see the Ice King just chilling on his throne. Being alone for untold millennium, the Ice King is very quick to make new friends and give us his origin story. Long ago, in an entirely different reality, the Ice King had banded forces together with many allies, his closest one being the prisoner. This group of beings with immense power traveled their lands, collecting not only items, but creatures that were far too dangerous to exist. Now, quick side note from me, myself here, Gummy Yoshi, it's a bit unclear from only these 4 comic panels as to what they were actually planning on doing with all these items of power, but we can make the inference that they were just trying to stop others from getting their hands on them based on the way he describes them. So we're presuming here that all along the Ice King has been a good guy, but since there are still more pages after this that haven't been released yet, we can't be entirely sure. This confirmation will most likely come on August 31st when the next issue of the comic fully releases, but have no fear as I'll have an upload covering this new comic and all the lore inside of it when it drops at a comic book store near you. But with that out of the way, let's get back to our story now. As the Ice King's crusade collected more creatures and more items of power, things started to corrupt the prisoner's mind. Instead of wanting to protect the world from these items, he began to have thoughts about taking over worlds with them, shaping reality to however he wanted it to be. The Ice King quickly learned about the prisoner's corrupted thoughts though, and he froze not only the prisoner, but everything they had collected throughout all their years together in a palace of ice, to be sealed shut forever. The Ice King then transported the palace to Reality Zero outside of the island and the loop, a place where he thought no one would be able to breach the castle's walls. Unfortunately enough for the Ice King, he didn't factor the weather into his decision. After years of being frozen in ice, a cosmic storm hit the ice moon he had frozen his castle on, breaking off not only his palace, but one of the giant frozen alien monsters beneath, the Devourer. Crashing down onto the island and into the loop, this is where the Ice King's story began in Chapter 1, Season 7, what we covered at the beginning of the video. Now, this is where the lore will end for now, because we only got the first 4 pages of the comic, not the entirety of issue 4. While this may not seem like one, this is a massive cliffhanger to leave us on until the full comic releases, of course only in a few days, but even still, it's a pretty big cliff to leave us on, since we don't know what the Ice King will do next. Will he band forces with Jonesy in the IO, or will he help out the Seven? There's a lot of different ways this could go. Is he going to unfreeze the entire castle and help out Agent Jones like I just said, or is he gonna band with Geno, trying to seek eternal perfection within every being? The only way we're gonna truly find out is by waiting until the next issue of Fortnite X Marvel Zero War. If you enjoyed this lore recap, please make sure to like the video, as it helps immensely in boosting it to other viewers, helping more people understand the Fortnite storyline, and all that good stuff. If you'd like to stay updated about everything new in the lore, also how to complete weekly challenges, really any news about the Fortnite Island at all, then make sure to stay subscribed to the channel to stay up to date on all of that stuff. But for now, thank you guys so much for watching the video. I genuinely do really like making these lore videos, so if you want to see more of them, I mean, I'm going to keep making them anyways, but just to support me on this little lore journey that I'm having, make sure to leave a like on the video, make sure to subscribe. I hope you guys all have an amazing day, and I will see you guys in the next one.